another episode of On the Back Dash. My name is Sid. Joining with me is Chris Will and Zach. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Loving life.
Living life. Yeah, it's
The
Most
heat wave
wonderful
finally
time of
broke.
the year.
yeah, heat wave broke for now.
Yeah.
DCI started.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything else is happening. Zach's almost done with classes, I think.
Yeah. So is Chris.
So am I.
I thought you.
I'm like
I thought
done
you were
after this.
Yeah, you're about done.
Yeah.
And,
I'm almost done. Yeah, one more semester.
and Will is under contract negotiations to have his show on the cooking channel. So it's everybody's doing. We need to stop. Somebody.
What do you name it? What are you gonna name it?
Somebody's gonna
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
Walking with Will.
Real.
Well, walk it like a.
Like people are gonna start thinking this is real.
In the kitchen, pretend like a stir fry.
That's what. No, if you, I bet you, when he's by himself cooking, that's what he does. I guarantee it. He's in there.
If you've ever seen a Snap story of his, you know that's what happens.
Right.
Have 47
I mean,
spices out to make pancakes with. I'm like, what the? Where does this even go? Like, why do you have crushed red pepper out? You make it breakfast. It's pancakes.
Put them on the potatoes.
No, pancakes.
No.
Like, get out of here with that. With your almond vanilla extract from Brazilian jungles.
Hey, that stuff's fire, man. You put vanilla in the pancakes.
Yeah, it is
Bourbon.
good.
I found a bourbon vanilla extract.
Bourbon.
Oh.
I made
Dude, there's a
pancakes
local ice cream shop here that has a bourbon pecan flavored ice cream.
Come out, Meltdown.
Oh, the Meltdown. If you guys are in Bowling Green, Kentucky, go to the Meltdown. Oh, man. I need to bring that back. It's good.
Dude, I'll be finding all kinds of weird stuff.
For that, I'm sure taste buds are probably a little bit more progressive up there.
I don't know if it's
I don't know, man. All that
variety.
green they be smoking. Fast food's probably king up there. Just saying.
That's what I'm excited to do when I go up there. Like I'm gonna need you to make sure you have restaurants ready.
Oh, okay. Whew.
No,
I was like, oh, I mean, you do you.
It's like,
I mean,
okay, Sarah,
I ain't gonna hate on it.
I think we've all
It ain't my cup of tea, but you more than welcome. There's a store down the street. Literally.
Oh my god, we've had this discussion. That's probably not something that I need to partake of, just because I don't. If I'm this chill now, either I'm going to go in a coma, or it's going to be the complete opposite.
Oh my god.
Like, why is Seth climbing a tree over there?
No.
I don't know.
Say, get out the tree.
So
Get
we
off the
gonna-
roof.
we gonna stay away from it. But so man, that
Nah, they got a lot of weird seasonal things. That's where I got that caramel seasoning stuff from. It's only out during the holidays. It's like a I forgot the actual name. I have to go get it, but I bought two of them. One's like a vanilla something, and the other one's like a caramel something. But it's like a sugar seasoning something. But it's like you can put it in cookies, brownies. It's more like a dessert kind of thing you would use for desserts or something
kind of
like
like
that.
a spice.
Kind of. Well, yeah, but it is sugary. You can. I put the caramel one in my coffee. Like it takes you to this website where it tells you a list of things that you can try it in and stuff like that. But it was only seasonal, so I was like, yeah, let me get one of each.
Give me a box.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's weird. I've it's one of those things. It's like, bro, I've never, when I was in Kentucky, never seen none of this stuff. I don't know if it's the area or
Well, yeah,
what it
It's
is.
getting better around us. I will say that. I think the more
You be on the
diverse
west,
we're getting,
you be on the West Coast. You're I mean, obviously, a lot closer to, like, you have a lot more Asian markets and stuff like that because
Oh, literally.
Japan is literally right there across, not that it's
Literally.
like right down the street,
Well,
but
no, I got
a
you.
lot closer for Asian countries to ship to Seattle than it is to Bowling Green. So
True.
you get a lot more access to those kind of things.
So
I
we have a
got
lot more Asian markets popping up here, though.
We do.
A lot,
Mhm.
which is awesome. I'm all about it.
I got a mom and pop one down the street that I'm kind of loyal to. There's a bunch of them, but I really like going to theirs. That's where I get a lot of stuff. If I'm using like anything that needs hoisin sauce or something like that, or
Mhm.
any of those things, like I want what is the fish oil or whatever? I want a smaller bottle, man, because I don't use it enough.
Mm.
That's why that's the one thing I always want to say. Give me a travel bottle size of like this stuff.
Everything. I want this big old bottle, man.
Or if you're making something you're trying it, you don't want to buy a giant bottle of it, and then you don't like it.
Thank you.
See, that's the way I am a lot of time when I'm cooking. I'm always like trying new things, and then like we'll put it in the rotation, but we rarely ever eat like the same thing.
See,
like all like
and
spaghetti all time, but yeah.
If I buy something, I need to at least know that I can put it in 2 to 3 dishes that I'm going to do again. Like I told my boys, Joe, I sent him a picture of they got sriracha barbecue sauce. Ooh. That I saw up here. I was like, oh. But I didn't want to buy a whole bottle that's like this big, and I'm like, man, I don't want this whole thing. If I take one sip or taste of this and it's nasty, I'm gonna be mad. It's like, who am I gonna give it to? So
it's like $12 bottle too.
Yeah, where is the sample lady with the cup?
Put on some bread.
Right.
Let me try it.
Yeah, I get you because I made tahini brownies one time or blondies, and it was good. But it's just like, what else do I use tahini for?
Fruit.
Now tahini could be put on anything.
Mm-hmm. It's good on fruit.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, tahinis. Sorry.
Oh
yeah.
I think it's talking about tahini, like the powder. Okay.
Not the spice, not the mix. Tahini.
Yeah. That's how I was. I was like, man, if I got any spices or anything, I better have more. That's why I'm sick, because I bought the smallest thing I could find of Old Bay seasoning. I kid you not, it is like this big. I jumped up from the door. I was like, yes! No, I'm not going to use all this. I made them salmon one time. I ain't made nothing else since. What else am I going to use?
Sounds like you need to get some crab and
shrimp.
Shrimp. Yeah.
You forget.
I might try crab, but shrimp, no.
Shrimp? Oh,
I can't
man.
do it.
You forget who you're talking to.
Yeah.
It took him 15 years to make them salmon bites.
It's not.
You've been talking about that since 2010.
Did your family make salmon patties? Is that why? Like back in the day, and you just like lost the affinity for?
No, Dad made catfish.
We have salmon patties.
Dad used to eat catfish. He made crab cakes. Ooh. But none of us ate them.
I love me some crab cakes.
House just be smelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I guess we making peanut butter.
PB&J, here we go.
Bowl of cereal.
He's gonna call his brothers over to eat. Ain't nobody else finna eat. It's like.
All right, what kind of podcast are we on? I can't. Yeah. What are we doing?
Man, we do this. People know this. People who watch us on a regular basis either listen to the 10 minutes
or they skip ahead.
Or they skip ahead. Like
that's why I put timestamps on because like be good to have.
It is okay. It is all right. And people do the same thing too. I mean, some people do. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I ain't worried about it.
I mean, they got food trucks in Drum Corps.
Well, yeah, we versatile, man. Like, I love Drum Corps. I teach band. I mean, this is my life, but like, I got other hobbies.
Speaking of other hobbies, 2028.
It's a long way
It's
away.
About to go down.
We're gonna forget about it tomorrow. You gonna tell them why? Or you just gonna leave it there?
I was just leave it there. You gotta find it out. You gotta find out.
And then say
If anyone, especially me and Cedric, we go right back on college basketball 2K. Like that's all we used to play all the time. And they're bringing EA's bringing it back. We just heard that 2K's thinking about bringing it back as well. So I'm excited, beyond excited. I love college football, but man, college basketball was play said, pause the menu, change the defense for 15 minutes, and just shellac you every time. It's good times.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Pause. Settings. Defensive strategy. Anyway. But yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we had drum corps this past weekend.
Yeah, we did. Opening weekend, man.
Yeah. Had a couple of preview shows and a couple of we did have a couple of action shows too. There was an open class. Sorry, it was an all age open class show, and then the world class show that happened. So we're going to talk about those. But there were a few more show announcements that have been released since then. So Blue Stars released their show entitled Spectator Sport. And as of this video, they released a show and they released their uniforms. It's going to be different. It is not what anybody else is doing. So it's going to
stand out.
I'm
just getting a lot of Cavi's Game On vibes.
Stop it.
I'm afraid.
Don't wish that upon anyone.
I'm not wishing. I did not wish that. I'm saying I'm getting that vibe.
Don't even put that in the same sentence.
What gives you that vibe?
I don't know.
I was about to say
because it's about sports.
It's sports, but like I don't know. I don't know. It just sounds to me. I don't know. I had to see it before I give any definitive.
You gotta hurry up and wait. You gotta look. Don't pass judgment until you see it.
Says the man that always craps on Crossman all the time.
I was gonna say it.
For good reason.
Oh my god.
No.
I don't know. I think I just need to see how they're gonna do it. The rep looks interesting.
Who did Crown when they did that show where they had the QR code? What was that show?
What was the name of that?
I forgot the name of it, but that's what it feels like. It feels like
right here, right now.
Yeah, like they're going through some kind of transition, maybe, and this is like a funnier form. Maybe.
Maybe.
Because it feels like it's finna be a hype show.
Or, I mean, Zach, you said you had a source that said that they got some talent this year?
Yeah. Ethan, guy we've had on the show before, he used to march with them. He said that they had a pretty deep pool for auditions, and the talent level was there. It's supposed to be a pretty challenging show. That's all he really knows. That's all. I mean, I'm just relaying that information. But yeah, I mean, I think word on the street is that they're pretty talented, and you know, this could be a I don't know. It could be very interesting.
The few things that I can see, I can see the vibe of that right here, right now show that you was kind of talking about, Will.
Yeah.
It could be some boxer vibe type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other end of things, it could be like Blue Devils. I don't know if you guys even remember this show, but the Dance Derby show.
You're not.
Well, do you remember that show where they did the dance competition backwards?
Oh,
I think it was.
I might actually have that show.
It was either 04 or 05. No, it wasn't 04 because 04 was Summer Dreams Blues Mix. It might have been 05. But anyway, and then I mean Cabbies when they did the Chicago show, they did a whole movement about baseball. So
Yeah, they did.
um,
it's
so it
it's definitely different. It's gonna stand out either because it's something different and really good, or I don't know.
yeah.
I'm
So that's
I will say this: they needed to try something different. I will count on that because they need I think they need something to kind of try to get back into, like, I don't know.
see
Like
they
last
kind
year
of
didn't really work.
well, I mean, what they eighth last year?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like what I mean is that like they had a really good show with I can't think of the name of the show right now.
The
The
War and Peace
war
show,
show.
the War show.
War and
Yeah,
Peace.
War and Peace. They did good with that, but then
Wasn't that
that put them
seven
in
for
a good
eighth?
spot. Do what?
Wasn't that seven for eighth too?
That was like 6, I'm pretty sure, or something like that, if I remember right.
6.
Right?
I
The
think
War.
What
I
year
think
is
he's
War and
right. I
Peace?
think it was up there.
It was. They did well. This before Phantom kind of took off too.
That'd be
Yeah.
big for
War and
them if they
Peace was
did get there.
7.
Okay,
7th. Okay. All right.
I was like
But
6.
but I just think they need to try. I will say I think they need to try something different just to change up, like, because I think you get a lot of people that say with Blue Stars that I won't say boring is not the word I'm looking for, but a lot of people say that like they don't have the punch that people want to see a lot. Like you compare them to like mandarins, you know what I mean? Like they got that punch, they got that zestiness kind of stuff going on. So maybe that's what they're trying to do is trying to bring some of the hype into it, you know, see where that
So
goes.
not
Yeah, it's
necessarily
possible.
a design change, but you just want to see more energy out of the core.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think they're trying to do. If I'm looking at this and like I have not seen the show, I don't know what anything it's about, but that's what I think it brings to me is that they're trying to have some energy brought back in.
Because from a design standpoint, I think they if anybody does something different every year, it's kind of them. I mean, you had the War and Peace show, and then you had this Planet show, and then they kind of never have the status quo year after year. I think they really do a good job of giving you a different palette every year.
Yeah,
But
didn't they have
it is
forks out on the field one year?
what
Didn't they have like forks or something on the field?
No,
Yeah,
One
that
year?
those
that was
spoons.
that was
that
a
spoon. Oh yeah, the spoons. That was the absence
absence
show.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I'm not talking about design. I've always liked the design. I'm just talking about like we said, the energy on the field is not what people, the general public.
It
I always like their shows.
last year's show was fine. It was good. It scored well. It sounded good. It looked good. But it was just kind of like this the whole time. I feel like it
Mhm.
was just very. I don't remember much about it. I remember that it was planet stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But then you think
Well,
about, I don't know, in looking at their placements, it's kind of like a every other year thing. They went 8th, 11th, 7th, 11th, or 10th. They kind of bounce back and forth a couple spots. So um, hopefully they knock it out of the park, right?
Uh-huh.
get there.
Uh,
I get there.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. I mean, I've said this, and not it's like you feel like a really good when you watch them. You feel like a really good high school band could do that show. Um, I mean, a really good like
That's
they're
probably
talking about
what they've been getting
a top
mixed up
12
with.
BOA show.
Yeah, they've been the core that looks like they're a BOA group.
Um, but I mean, they've played the game the way that they've played, and maybe the talent pool has kept them from taking that next step as far as difficulty in music, or design or something like that. So
I'd say they probably are very young most of the time.
Yeah.
I'd say
That
they
could be
probably,
too.
some people might go there for a year or two and then jump over to somebody else for or like their age out or their last 2 years or whatever, just for something different.
So yeah. No. So it'd be interesting. It's to see kind of how things go because from what we saw this past weekend, there's a lot of nobody just sucked.
No.
Nobody sucked. Like everybody seems to have a better start. I think that extra week of spring camp, spring training kind of helps a lot of folks. I mean, we're seeing shows that are done. I mean, opening day done, not like finals done, but like done.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the picture. We get it. All right, cool. Now wait. See who else announced their show? Was Colt's show announced last time we talked about it?
Yeah, we did not talk about their show. No.
Okay. I said it and I can't remember the name of it.
Which I mean, for them, we could talk about like overall because
in Restless Dreams or something
There
like
it
that.
is. Good job. But good pull, Zach.
You're welcome.
So you just want to wait and talk about them with the show. Was there anybody else that announced? I'm trying to think.
Spirit. No, we already did Spirit. Who else? Was
Phantom.
We'll talk about them.
Yeah. Right.
Blue Coats.
We'll talk about
I'm just listing off the ones that we didn't go over yet.
I think that's it. I really think Blue Stars were the only ones. I think that didn't perform.
They didn't perform. So, yeah. All right. So we'll get into the other ones here in a little bit and such. So, all right. Well, shoot. All right. So, we've already got some crazy that's happening already.
Boy, do we.
So let's kind of just talk about the preview shows first, and then we'll talk about the competitive stuff in a little bit. So, Vanguard with their show Avant-Garde. Initial thoughts, folks?
They ain't messing around.
Yes. That's all I got is yes.
Yeah, they some folks better watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I ain't seen when they going.
Oh, they did a preview night on Friday. You ain't seen it? You didn't feel those? You didn't feel those shots Friday night? All of a sudden?
Jesus.
It's probably the fireworks. I thought that was actually happening.
Yeah, no. Those were the Vanguard shots.
All the way from Idaho.
I like it. If anyone watched the preview show, they did a really cool thing. Like before they performed, they had like a video. They sat down with the design team and kind of talked about like what they're doing and like where it came from. And like if you watch that, I'm sure it's somewhere like either it's got to be somewhere in the verse somewhere. But they do a really good job of explaining like where it comes from, the ideas, the music, the choreography, all of it goes into that idea of avant-garde, and like it's all it's awesome. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of energy, that Vanguard energy, like kind of that the Babylon energy that they had. I'm not saying it's first place, but like that energy that they had during that year.
It's different.
Yeah, it is very different.
I mean, here's the thing what people don't realize about Vanguard. They've always been avant-garde. Like, and that was in their description of themselves. I remember reading that, like, in the early 2000s, late 90s. You know, just like they took an avant-garde drum corps, like the music that they picked, you know, the drill design that they had. I mean, nobody else marches shoulder to shoulder drill, you know, like them. And the way they would do things, like, it was, they always went after it. You've always went after it. And I've always said, Will has heard me say this 1,000 times, but he's probably said it 1,000 as well. If they could ever just get clean.
Yep.
We said that so many times.
Well, we talk about the old Vanguard and the drill that they used to have, like at like one step and half step, and like you're going to see spacing problems whenever you do that, you know, like so.
Yeah, it's so easy to pick out. Visually, it's so easy to pick out stuff, but it's just like nobody else is trying this stuff, you know. And I love the Cavies in the early 2000s, but some of their drill was even dirty because it was so freaking hard and so fast. They just did more of it well enough to compensate for, for some of the dirty spots. And I use
And I
the
will say
term.
that's what I do like about this show from Vanguard is that it's not like the mid 2000s drill, all that stuff, but like it has a lot of good velocity in it and a lot of good movement in it, which is I think is good. I think that's when a Vanguard does that is when they're a good Vanguard. I think is when you got a lot of velocity.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they are just kind of known for that type of stuff. It's how they get in and out of that sets, which makes things really cool. Drumline's on fire. It's gonna take
man,
darn near perfection to keep this Hanford from them again. This with their front. It's me and Will preach about it all the time, but it's the front just makes such a huge difference. There's batteries that can go toe to toe with Vanguard. I'm not saying that they're better than Vanguard, but they can at least hang. But you start looking at that front,
whole package,
it
man.
is something different down there. Guard's cool. They're doing it with. I don't recall seeing a prop on the field.
No, they've got like
I thought they had
like
something.
they've got little tarps down, but that's like little
Yeah.
circles on the ground, but there's no
So-
like structure or anything.
Yes, so no problems. I ain't noticing so.
Yeah, they had the dots, right? The yellow and pink dots. Was that them?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to remember, like, go back in my head. That was them.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I just didn't. It did nothing for me then. The tarps did. So
I mean, it wasn't something that wasn't really even necessary. I think they're just, unless, I mean, of course, knowing them, they'll probably do something with them. But no, if they weren't on the field, it wouldn't make a difference on the impression they made.
But yeah, very very strong start from those guys. Looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about where I have them sitting right now later on.
Yep.
And then the other preview show for that. No, that was the next night.
The same night as Vanguard
it was the
preview
tour
was
preview. Yes, that's
the
what it was.
Muncie show at Ball State.
So, few groups were there. So, Cavies
Mm-hmm.
made their premiere at that show. I thought it was better. I really,
Yeah.
I really kind of like where they're going. Kind of a different vibe, a little bit, but I mean, it was enjoyable to watch. I was sitting there; it kept me interested. I was like, all right, what are we gonna do next? So for me, I was like, okay, improved.
Yeah, that opening 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is, was a lot better than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Once they figure out the back end of things, I think they're going to be doing pretty well.
The overall vibe is better.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But Zach brought up a good point when we were watching it about the uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we watched High Cam, but just for me, like, it all kind of just mushed together. There was no crispness to it, and I think it could have been just like the brightness of the camera feed or the way, because it was outside and it was like, sun going down, whatever. But I don't know, it just kind of it was very muddy looking to me. Couldn't find a whole lot of definition lower body wise. I mean, even with guard mixed in, there wasn't much definition between people that I could tell, and I hope it doesn't hurt them.
I mean, it's tough because besides groups like them and other groups, it seems like this year's like the year of the white.
And I think Cavaliers, they have little side capes too.
Yeah, no, they still got their green and their cape stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
but I don't know if that
I don't think
might
the colors
play a part in
enough.
it.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
It's not.
It's all kind of too dark.
It's a dark tone.
Yep.
But I appreciated separating them, the battery. I felt I like the battery having more notes for them
Hmm.
because if I make a list of like top 5 front ensembles I like, Cabby's is on it. So I enjoy when their battery shines a little bit more and can get into some of those like inner beat notes and depth and stuff with some of those rudimental things. So kudos to them for that.
It was funny the year they won
Yeah,
drum. And that's the thing. They're one of the few groups where their front sometimes carries the battery.
it does.
Hmm.
And the
You
year
can
they
make the case
won,
that's what happened.
the year they won, their battery matched up with the front because their front always is the, we call them, I call them stunts, not in like a negative connotation, but like they just do. I don't want to call them tricks. I think tricks are not right, but they just do these things in their front that's just like, but you don't. I don't, and it's hard to do this, but they never. If you remember, they used to have to put them on the field when they did those things just for you to notice it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that year they won, man, that front ensemble was doing all types of crazy stuff down there.
Yeah.
Splitting stuff, simultaneous responsibilities with stuff. Like it's their front is always doing something ridiculous. And then as that year, whatever the battery rider with Mike McIntosh, he's just like here, and like they did it, and then they won. And then last year, I think, like you said, where the battery just disappeared.
Yeah. And that's why I was glad for this year because I reminded from last year, and I was like, golly, man. And I'm not, ain't no point in bringing it up. Everybody knows what happened. And it just like, they kept taking one hit after another.
So could be a good year for them. It's a buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the hard part is that, like, who are they going to push out of the way? That's a hard part because, like, now, like, there's a couple groups that are solidified and they're on the up and up too. So that's going to be the interesting part of that is how they get out of that 11th spot.
So good start for Cabbies. Another group that was there was the Phantom Regiment performing their show.
I don't know
Is
if y'all
there
saw
an official title or no?
Drum Corps Circle put on our thing Laundry Day. That's what they titled it. It's pretty clever. So,
man.
And no, I did not go muted. There is no title right now, I don't think.
Like,
it's called it like.
Let's see how that pays off.
Are
silk bed sheets?
Is there a title and they're gonna wait and then they're gonna say it and hope that it like makes everything make sense?
Let's talk about this in a second.
Okay.
Let's get this out of the way. They're playing well. The book is a lot more difficult than I'll say a lot more. It's more difficult than last year. So the group they're playing. There's a lot of movement. So they're from a performance standpoint, they're really trying to get after it. Like it had some reminiscence to me of some vintage Crown. I say vintage like 10-year ago Crown, as in vintage. But so I mean, Drumline caught my attention a couple times with some of the stuff that they were playing. But I mean, they're playing really, really well. I really like this. I'm not sure. I need to listen to it again to decide if I like it better than last year's show.
Off a first read, I don't right now, but that can change.
Because last year, here's the thing.
might visually.
You might visually?
That be it.
I could get behind that.
And I would like to see another run as well. But from what I've seen visually, I was like, And I think because of those props, it spoke a little bit more to me. And I wasn't mad at what they did with them for the
Mm-hmm.
sake, but I would still like another run. Or sorry, another read. And but that aspect, yeah. The rest, yeah, I'm still stuck in last year. But
Yeah, I think for me, I don't remember. I don't. There's nothing that I remember from watching the premiere that I was like, oh, like that's gonna be good, or there's nothing that stuck out to me that I heard or that I saw. So I'm gonna need another read or two as well before I figure out where I think they might be going with this and where they might land. Because I don't, like I said, I don't remember a whole lot, but I feel like it's too pretty. I don't know. I don't remember much musically if there's any like, but like the last two years they've really had like a punch and not an aggression, but there's definitely
well,
an
they've had
impact
shows
to
like
it.
that before.
But like this year's kind of different, whereas they're not smacking you in the mouth first thing, you know. Um,
I know
Not
one thing
saying
I
I don't
said
like it, but
that I
I want
liked.
to see it some more.
I was telling you, I think Zach and said when we were watching that the use of the props are cool because it makes them look bigger. Like whenever they like go into like the circles and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
they come out of it, that is pretty effective visually. I think it really contrasts the band and does well with it. Which you're thinking they just got these sheets out here. What are they going to be able to do with it? So
Yeah.
I'm with you on Will on that part.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
think
props do a good job.
I think from a musical standpoint, we're some people who are might be trying to compare it to last year and that big ending because like the two things that I remember from last year's show was the part I can't think of the tune, but like the part that Crown did in Relentless that they did, um, and then the end part. Um, with the company front and all that, and the G pool and all that good stuff. So that ending is strong and memorable. And this show didn't have that, but nobody's ending was like, oh my god, yeah, it's they're we're just trying to get the show on the field. We already know,
Mm-hmm.
we all know that's not going to be the real ending. But there were some moments of virtuosity and athleticism in the book. There's a couple of spots where I was like, okay, get some notes happening and moving here. Um, But I think now, kind of segueing into now the title weight, we'll call it. Um, there was for me, it was hard to make a connection with what the show was because I didn't know what I was trying to make the
Mm-hmm.
connection with.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'm gonna dink flow marching for this though. Is that previous show they were giving a lot of explanation after the shows were over, like the drum majors were out there talking, and you could not hear a single thing
Yeah.
that they were saying. Like Dan Potter was out there talking to them, and like you got nothing.
Yep.
And like I think whatever they were saying, I don't know if it give us any like inkling of what they want you to think about the show or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. But that did kind of stink that you couldn't hear any of that.
Yeah. So, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, they played March well. It's just
Uh-huh.
but at this stage of the game now, it's what can you do for me? I mean, like, what am I feeling? What's the connection? How am I getting
Mm-hmm.
drawn in? And some of these shows are abstract enough where if you don't know if,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going on, and it's just really weird. And this one, I just watched it. I was like, oh, that was cool, but what was it? Like even more so than Cabaret Voltaire.
Yeah.
It took me a month and a half to be like, what is going on? And like, oh, I get it.
So I mean, they don't even have like on the running list. They have rep, but not even any program info for you to try and make a connection.
So, and there are
So
some folks out there that are hot about it,
Oh, they can get over it.
but
Like,
they were hot about a lot of stuff. Um,
oh man,
so yeah, but
can't please everybody.
No, you can't. And I think core folks realize that and have
Yeah.
stopped trying. They're just like, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and if people like
Yeah.
it, great, and if they don't like it, they can get over it. Which when you do that, I think you stay true to yourself and you come out with some really special stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
um next group that was at that preview, well, there's only three of that group at that show,
Yep.
I think. So Carolina Crown, the point of no return. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think they are trying to. I think there's, if in my brain, if I was at Crown, I'd be like, all right, Phantom, you had your fun.
Yeah.
Go back. Here's
I
how
Yeah.
like
you
it.
really, here's how you really do it.
Yeah, they're definitely. It seems like they're definitely reaching for something. You know, they're trying to
Mhm.
claw their way back up into the conversation for medals. I really liked it. I mean, you've got your crown sound. You know, the brass is doing their thing, and guard was good, percussion's good. Now, did I get what it was? No, but I liked it. I don't know if I'm supposed to
Whoa,
get anything out of it.
hold on, Zach. Wait a minute, wait a minute. You didn't understand the show, but you still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
That's a concept right there, man. Huh.
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. I did. I just saw some stuff on the Book of Faces, and I'm just like, this is,
Keyboard warriors, man.
What they done said now?
no, I'm not getting into it because we're already 40 minutes in.
So yeah, we gotta pick it up.
We got a lot to talk about, but no, it's good stuff, and like, and I think I said on the last podcast, like, am I really excited about hearing Carmina Burana on the field again? But no, the Crown's going to do it, and they're going to do it well. They're
Yep.
not just going to ever suck at anything. So, and they put some twist on some stuff. So I was like, all right, that's cool right there. I like that. I like how they did
Mm-hmm.
that. That's it. What about you two?
I don't know. Like I know a little bit about Camino Burana, like and like where it comes from and like the whole idea of it. So I got a little bit of it. Like the whimsical stuff is like the drinking songs. I don't know if like like they're all a collection of poems is what they are, right? Like the whole idea and then music is, whatever. So like you got a lot of that stuff in there, and so there's some cool stuff. But I just think like what Zach was saying, like that's exactly what Crown needs to do. Is it's a loose concept of a show, and they're not forced to storytell it into the ground. I think that's what's hurt them the last couple of years. Is like they just, especially that Camelot show, like it boxed them in, and they couldn't do anything with it. Like they could play their tails off, which they always do, but just design wise, like now it's at least you have a loose concept of stuff. It's not something that, like people know Commander Burana, right? They know they know it, but like the backing behind it, not a lot of people do. So you're able to tell a story without telling a story. Does that make sense? I don't know if that it's not Animal Farm. It is Animal Farm. Like that whole that idea of thought. So I liked it. I think, man, it's gonna be hard cracking that top three, but do Vanguard and Crown, they are for sure gunning for that spot this year. I think Phantom is too with what they're doing, but them especially. I think you're going to see some good stuff.
Would you catch it?
Yeah, I spoke on it.
Did you?
Well, I kind of threw some tidbits in every.
That's how you want it.
Everybody was saying.
I
mean, I like the whole thing. No,
I didn't want to move on to the next one. You'd be like,
no, I did. I'd be cool to. I mean, I don't know. I'd be cool to figure out what the lady is walking around the field. I figured she was going to do that around the whole field. I was like, they're going to have her walk around this whole field, ain't they?
Yeah, I'm
that
wondering
cool,
if.
though. And that little thing follows her. I don't know what it is.
I'm wondering if they're doing a different they're using the music to Carmina Burana to tell a different story.
Probably.
There is something
The
in Carmina
lady in
Burana
red.
about her
It is. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
in a
Zach.
red dress. There's
What?
something within the poem. There's like 20 something poems in this thing or whatever, but there is, I don't remember which number or anything. You can look it up or whatever, but there is one that says something about a woman in a red dress or a girl in a red dress.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
how important that is to the overall picture, no idea.
yeah.
But it's pretty
But
important in their show.
it's
I
a
like how they
connection.
opened with it.
I will tell you this: as a history person, this show makes me want to go look into it further. Does that make sense? Like to understand what's going on the field. Like, and I think that for me speaks a lot to what they're doing. Like, oh, I want to know what this is. Okay, what's this supposed to mean? What's it? You know, that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, that's pretty big. I'm also super hyped for the whole percussion this year for them. That drum break is fire. I was sitting there listening. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I'm not hesitant to say the front actually caught my attention a couple times. That usually never happens.
We're crown.
They did some kind of formatting permutation that sounded like a split, and it was so fast in the beginning. And I said, "Excuse me, did y'all just get my attention?" But throughout the show, they had like little pockets and stuff. So I was like, "Oh, okay, this might help y'all at least be in that running."
Yeah.
Stay in the conversation, Crown, man, because I'm here for it. I love the new sound, perk wise. Almost well, I won't say overall core, but especially perk wise.
It fits. Well, I mean, here's the thing,
it
though.
Works.
You know how it is. Percussion writing can change the whole vibe of an ensemble,
and it is working. And I hope they can stick with it. I hope they can let it grow, give it time to breathe, because this is a good statement, and it's tough. It's tough making a statement on that kind of level with a group like that. So, yeah.
So that was all the shows from Friday night. And then Saturday, we had some more shows. We had another preview show, and then we had an actual show. So, which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's just go in order.
All right.
Well, I will not be giving anything to this conversation because I was not able to watch any of this. So,
it was his anniversary.
It was.
Did you know what that day was? Anyway, sorry.
Nope. Did not.
All right. That's another cultural thing. Sorry. So Blue Coats had their premiere show, and they debuted their show entitled "The Observer Effect." Zach is shaking his head. You didn't like it, Zach?
Oh,
it was garbage.
Yeah. Well then.
Listen. Here's what I'm.
You go ahead, Will, because I'm going to say what I want to say, but I want you to go first.
I'm not going to lie. I really like it. Really, really like it. I do want them to do something with the closer. For some reason, it felt like the closer got lackluster to me, and it fell off. And I know it's not done.
Oh, it's probably like
pocket. I don't know if because I was told that they were going to get some brand new song or whatever from them. I was like, is this it? Because it has this weird. Maybe I need to hear it again. It has some. It doesn't feel. I don't know if I was expecting it to be like last year's closer. But it had these pockets of just randomness. And then there was like this big chord, and then it was done. And I was like, okay, well, I know it's not done. But still, the rest of this isn't making sense to me for some reason. And that was the only section I questioned out of that entire show.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that's just version one of whatever the ending is going to be. It'll change 3 times before finals, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it was like I
Uh,
said, it wasn't it wasn't just the ending. It's whatever that whole closer is, the whole
yeah,
closing section. I know the show's not going to end like that,
right.
but I'm just saying that section was something wasn't making sense to me for some reason, and then it just kind of I was just kind of sitting there like y'all had me from the jump, and then all of a sudden I was just sitting there, and I was like, am I reading into this too hard, or
Hmm.
what's not grabbing me right now? Because they had me the whole show.
Go ahead, Zach.
Just off first read of all the shows that I've seen, I they about to go undefeated again. I think it could legit happen, back to back undefeated seasons for them. Like Boston was good, but it for me it didn't. There wasn't enough. I don't know. I don't. I just have a feeling that Blue Coats might do it again. It's just design aspect. There's so much going on, so much to look at. Just musically, I mean, it completely sticks out compared to everybody else, which I mean, I guess could bite them in the butt, but also I don't know. I just feel like it's just one of those.
I'm so glad you said there's so much to look at because, of course, they announced the show title before the preview show, which was
Hmm.
Thanks. So I actually looked up the observer effect. I was like, what is it? And it's basically the phenomenon of like when you look at something, it is the perception of it is different than when you're not looking at it. Well, if there's at any given time, the show does itself. Like the show itself does itself. Because at any given time, you could be looking at one part of that field, and what's happening is your perception of what that is. And something
Hmm.
completely different can be happening, but you will not notice it because you're
Yep.
here. Like the show itself is doing what it's
Like
about.
in the way that the field is segmented at different times based on those blocks that they've got and they're moving around. Like at one point in time, you've got the whole contra line is in the very back of the field playing and doing their thing, but you've got guard over here and kind of pushed off to one side, and then they bring them all together. I mean, it'll take 3 or 4 different reads for me to you know focus on different things and see what all is happening because I didn't even notice. Of course, I watch high cam first time I watch all these shows because I want to see the big picture.
Yeah.
I saw pictures from the previous show. They got members in those boxes playing, like the little tiny ones. They got members inside them, sitting crisscross playing. And I'm like, I didn't even notice that because I was just. But yeah, I mean, and that may that comment somebody will pull that receipt later and maybe say something about it. But I do. I just going off first read in vibes. That might be undefeated again this year.
Yeah. Um, and kind of to Will's point, I think you wanted. I think you knew just kind of like what Phantom did last year. You knew how they ended, and if you remember last year, the show got really esoteric, really aleatoric, just kind of wild and just kind of crazy. And you're just like, how is this going to finish? Like, how are they going to get out of this
Hmm.
with some type of like definitive? And
Mm-hmm.
they built that tension up, but you didn't feel like the release paid off for the tension. I think they'll pay it off because they did it last year. They did it 2 years ago. They did it 3 years ago. Those we all early. We just kept saying, where is this going?
Mm.
Hmm.
Where is this going? It's and
They,
and they
you can
always.
see and hear. I mean, we say this every year. I hear a little snippet. Oh, that was kinetic noise. Oh,
Oh
that
yeah,
was
it's a
this. That was this. That was this. And it's like, like they try something out and then they make it perfect the next year. or nearly perfect. If it works, I don't know.
So I get it. I mean, but they do everything that you want them to do. That we expect out of a top three, top four core. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're going to play a bunch of notes, which they always do. Master manipulators of sound manipulation. Like, there's some stuff you can't tell whether it's recorded back or if it's them playing. But here's what I got to tell people about that too. If you're not sure, like you're like, well, they're just recording themselves, and they have to play it correctly. Like, that stuff's not pre-recorded. It's everything that you hear played back from a music standpoint has been played by the core during that show at some point, and then somebody down there, a kid,
is
down there
activating it.
is activating it.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody cracks a note, which they have done, if somebody fracks a note or plays out of time,
it's going to get repeated.
It's going to get repeated. Like, that's where that difficulty comes from. Like, that's where the content and the innovation comes from. Because if somebody messes something up, it's a repeat.
Well, I mean, that even goes back to, it was either Tilt or Kinetic Noise when they had the kid on the rolling pad that was playing that had to play those notes at exactly like 180 or whatever the BPM was for it to line up. Mm-hmm. So they literally would practice hitting on that rolling pad with a metronome to make sure that it was lined up perfectly. Mm-hmm. Like, you talking about people blinking and messing something up. That whole show could go down the tube in a heartbeat if somebody ain't right.
Yeah. So that's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they'll have to, which I know they will. They'll have to clean up visually. All that white, boy.
All that white.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine
watching these whites this year, boy. That white will not let you lie.
Nope.
It's not gonna let you lie on nothing.
A buddy of mine's wife was concerned about that. Is that they're gonna have to add some color, and I'm just like, they've added color the last 2 years towards the end of the show somewhere.
You ain't gonna see it until
you won't see it in
July.
But
they might.
But yeah, I mean, that's just the risk that you take, though. But the uniform is sharp. Like, I'd buy that.
It's a cool uniform. I like it.
And then everybody's wearing glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. Like, I was sitting there and I was like, because you guys probably sitting there like, does he like it? No, we didn't. And I was like, no, I dig it.
And I'm gonna make a old head boomer comment, but I love that their drum majors are wearing a traditional, have a traditional look that fits. It's the old blue coat with the helmet. They're still who they are. So get over.
That's not a boomer comment. I don't think.
Nah.
I think that's just appreciating
where you came from.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like,
I love Flow. They did a little short with a little short reel with the person putting on the helmet, and it had Otis McDonald's a chart on it. I'm like, that's a banger, and that song fits perfectly for that.
I've seen that.
For that was I don't know. I'm a big Otis McDonald fan. He's got some bangers out there. But anyway, but no, Blue Coats, I do like it. I like it a lot, and I just want to see how's this going to end, how's it going to evolve, because they do a really good job of evolving shows throughout the year and making them better. So shout out to them. And then at the Muncie show, I think it was at Muncie, Ball State.
That was the one with Crown.
That was the one with Crown. I'm getting all mixed up.
Yeah, Drums Along the Rockies.
Drums Along the Rockies. God, dog, that's enough, bro.
Our one to watch.
Yeah, it was our one to watch.
Yeah.
It's opening day for us too. So the Rocky show. Really, 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 really cool to see some of these groups. Let's talk about. We're going to score. Blue Knights with Drip.
Better than last year.
Better than last year. I dig it.
From the opening statement was better. Yeah.
Opening statement, and they kept my attention. Like I wanted to watch all of it. I I'm sure I'm missing some stuff when it comes to the drip concept.
How did the uniforms on the field look?
It actually
Look
worked.
all right?
I
Good.
thought
It
blue
worked.
and
Yeah.
orange because the guard was all blue.
Yep.
So like I think if I'm reading it right, the members are like the pipes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the guard is kind of like the water droplets.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
That's my interpretation of it. I could be completely.
Man, there was a
wrong, but-
girl in Walmart today. I just went today, and I was walking back towards the food section, and she had a shirt on and it had drip on it, and it had small little letters underneath the word drip, and I immediately was like, "Is Blue Knights done put out merch already?" Because I could have
Blue Coats have.
I could have swore it said Blue Knights because it was drip,
Might
with
have.
big blue letters, drip, and then right under like the DNR somewhere around here, it had like white letters, and
Could
I
be.
could have. I walked past quick, and I'm like on my phone on Blue Knights' website. It's like, you motherfucker, because I was
I mean,
going to
Blue
circle back.
Knights
Hey
got-
girl,
I
where you
mean,
get that shirt from?
Blue
You know
Coats
about some Blue Knights?
got all types of stuff out already.
It wasn't
Oh,
though,
you
but
bet.
I thought it would have been cool as a mug because it was just so coincidental. Big blue letters drip dead on the front of her shirt. I was like,
So, and then I'm a fan of it. I think they did a really, really good job with the treatment of Tyler's water. I was like, how are they gonna do this? And I really dug the arrangement. They did get a little drum corey towards the end of it, but that's their closer, so they gotta do something with it. But I was a fan of it. I was here for it. That's a
Yeah, I
good way
liked
to
it.
make connections. So, good job, Blue Knights. Keep up the good work. See how that evolves over the season. And then next, I believe, Troopers with the Final Sunset.
I need to see
Also,
it again.
I
I'm gonna have to see it again. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like it.
I thought it was fine.
It was. I was like,
Well,
it might have been me. I don't know, because it was like, do y'all even want to be on the field?
I was going to ask, was our assumptions sort of true with it being the
I don't know.
fourth time we've seen something like this from them?
No.
Okay, I don't
was-
see.
It felt dry to me.
I don't think-
Other than them having the barrels out there, I didn't notice any callbacks. Other than the look is still similar, but like I don't know. Now they did have these like white PVC looking.
Little pipe.
They look like just frames.
I thought
so
they were gonna
maybe
make
they
a
got
sun
some-
and then make it set.
Well, I think maybe those white frame things might end up having like a cover on them to kind of they can get behind and you won't see them, or that'll help maybe tell a story. Maybe they
hope.
haven't come in
Maybe
yet.
that's why.
But I mean, there was definitely a lot of callbacks to troop identity, like the swords and they did the sunburst and they did all the things.
They made it an
So-
11.
They made an 11. They kind of halfway did an infinity cord kind of deal. So
that's
I mean,
Man, I ain't gonna say it didn't have
yeah.
pockets or something here and there.
I
I was like, okay, that was cool, and blah
I
blah
mean,
blah.
like-
But overall, I was just like,
like I said with Phantom, I don't remember anything from it other than the visual stuff with all the little symbols of troop. But yeah, it's fine. It's kind of meh to me.
all right,
It
I'm
doesn't-
not all ball out because I liked it
Oh,
because it.
I mean, I
wasn't-
didn't hate it. It
because-
just doesn't stick out.
because it wasn't like the last two shows. Now, with that being said, I don't think that it doesn't feel like a part of the trilogy
it doesn't.
per se, which raises a lot of questions in my brain that I'm not going to bring up right now.
Mhm.
But I mean, I liked it. I really did like it. I think maybe because it did do some of the throwbacks into that stuff. Because when they got into the circle to do the sunburst, I was like, they're gonna do it. But they did it, but they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I liked what they did with it. That was a cool Drew moment with it. But I think they're saving it.
I think we just need to start coining the term "animal farm moment." I think that needs to be like our official for that stuff. That was
Well,
that
it
animal farm
is, but
moment.
it isn't.
Yeah.
But it is, but it isn't.
It isn't right now, but I think towards the end, I think at the end of the season, it will be a true sunburst
Yeah,
that we will
Mhm.
see.
Well, didn't
I'm
they
sure
last
I'll
year? Didn't they
change up
tease
by
a
the end of the year.
sunburst and then they didn't do it?
I don't know.
I feel
I
like
don't
you're
see.
right.
Here's the thing. That's my thing. I don't remember last year's show. The only thing I remember about last year's show was the guitar solos. That was it. I don't remember nothing else about that show. And
You
the
don't remember the
spinning
lightsabers?
How about to say the whole stage collapsing and breaking down and
Yeah,
rising?
The pentagram on the field,
I'm
the
sorry.
devil.
Sorry.
Well,
Because I'm opposite of
Sorry.
you. I like
That's
the
what I'm
last
saying.
two shows.
That's what I see. But that's the difference. I don't
I
like
like-
dark typically.
So I thought they
Yeah.
was going to for real end it like. And I was
But
like,
here's
maybe
the
I'll
thing.
did it
When
like
they
this,
did
and I was like,
the first thing I looked for this year was that sunset prop. It was that sun
yeah,
prop.
I thought they was going to bring it back for real.
And I didn't see it. And I was just like, that's the sunset. You got to have the sun. And then
But
when
they
it
lasted they lasted the sun last year.
so what did they
don't
do
need
with
it.
So what did they do with it?
Put it in his pocket. I don't know.
The last now Voracious,
I don't-
yes, I was all about it. I mean, I got the shirt on, but I like this one better.
Did they have the sun prop in the show last year?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's where the devil was at the top when the trooper dude was at the bottom when they're going towards each other. Like it was
sun
on
was there?
side 2. Yeah.
Mm.
It didn't. I don't think they moved it. It didn't move like it did 2 years ago.
Yeah, they didn't
but-
focus in on it, but they painted it. It was painted black this time around, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked it. I liked it this year. I did.
Well, good.
And I know I'm weird on that, but that's fine. But yeah. So Drew, mixed opinions. I mean, nobody didn't like it. I just liked it more than they did. Let's see here. Colts. With their show Restless Stream.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. Say
I'm pretty sure I sent it to y'all, but I was like, Colts of the new BK question mark
Oh yeah.
with their design and just that type of take you somewhere else kind of deal. I don't know. I like the bit there. This is what the third year in a row now where they've had a uniform and they've used it visually, like maximized the effect out of it. Now it's a little different. It's a little different. The show is different too. Like it's kind of out there, but like there's times where they've got the field kind of split and they're both going opposite directions, and that uniform is being used like they've used the last 2 years. They're doing a good job with that. So I'm curious to see how else it develops. And the red triangle is how you know that you're dreaming kind of thing.
that was
What
smart.
else?
That was
What
so
else
smart.
comes out of that is gonna be.
Because I was going to say I do need another read. I do like the
Mhm.
music and I do like the props. The props is one of the things that's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And they use them a lot of different
The rep-
ways. Each side's got its own kind of
But I think I need to see it again to let myself dive into it a little bit deeper and just
Mhm.
ingest it a little bit better and just see like, okay, it's like now this is starting to click and blah blah. But yeah, I
One of the things
ain't mad at it.
One of the things that made me think about Blue Knights was, y'all know I love the Because show. There's a moment in Because where they have a huge impact and they bring out those huge silks that are all bright colors behind those mirrors.
Mhm.
And like there's just this huge wave of color that hits right at the full guard of this field all the way across the field. Colts did it reverse. All the color went away behind the props at one point in time and the color was gone. And that's like popped into my head immediately. I was like, oh, that's like the opposite of what BK did. So I mean, and they're not the only groups that have ever done something like that, but there are things that pop up that remind me of that stretch of Blue Knights that I just love so much. that I wish would come back, but maybe it's coming back in the
Didn't they
Colts
have like that
iteration.
big blue tarp, or is that somebody else?
When
Not a tarp, but that shear that they pull over the whole bank, the whole core. Is
I
that
think
them?
Blue Knights had the
It
blue
was Blue
fabric.
Knights. Never mind. Okay,
Yes,
okay, I mixed it. Never mind.
yes.
Yeah. I was like,
I knew I saw somebody do it.
Mm. And they moved under it too. You know,
Yeah, they
when
did.
Crown
That
had
was
the red, when Crown had
see,
the
that's
red
what it
one, they kind
reminded
of
me
all
of.
stayed
Yeah,
under it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Blue Knights were moving, and it was going with them, and they were. I don't know if they were still playing or not. I did remember that now. Yeah, I like it. I want to see more. I want to see what else they've got. But I enjoyed it. I did.
all right. And then the Blue Devils, a variation of gatherings.
I like that
I
whole
like.
opener.
I was just about to
That
say I
whole
like
opener
the
is cool.
beginning. I like the beginning, and then it kind of flatlined for me.
It did. It did
Like it was
get
it was
Healy.
solid.
It did get Healy like, okay, ooh, okay, but
There were some cool visual moments in there too. The soprano sax solo was great.
yeah, they
Wait,
Uh,
hold on, wait a minute.
yes,
You said the soprano sax solo was great
yes,
in drum corps. It
yeah.
didn't offend you.
mm-hmm,
Mm-mm.
Okay.
mm-hmm. I second that.
It's the year to petty.
Petty Betty, listen,
I mean, people got to start getting over stuff,
They don't have
yeah.
to.
or the pettiness is going to get
They
thicker.
don't have to.
Now, now that Blue Devils have done it, now next year there'll be 32 cores that'll all have some sort of obscure instrument solo, and we're going to be over it. But
Well,
for right now, it's been done tastefully and it's been
I
done
feel like
well.
somebody else had a solo too. Somebody had an oboe solo? Question mark?
It sounded like one. Are you talking about Friday night,
Was it
or
Phantom?
am I thinking of someone different?
I don't know. I can't remember. Um, no, somebody put out there. Now, if anybody else had done this, they would have been doing all types of fit. But Blue Devils do it, and there's not one negative comment about it.
I feel like it'd be the opposite of that.
I saw that somewhere. Well, here's the
Well,
thing: you got to think about Blue Devils fans. They
Mm-hmm.
are progressive. They
That's true.
they just like, hey, that's cool, and you can't knock 27-time champions.
I was just
Mm-hmm.
thinking from a BDE hater
well,
people
Nah,
standpoint.
when I first heard the solo, I was like, wait a minute. And
Yeah.
then, like, well, it would be them to be the ones to do it first, because the
Because I was
roles,
trying to figure out what it was, and then I was like, oh,
well, they've
mhm,
done violin before.
yes.
So they've
Was
done
it them or
stuff.
Coates that brought that proposal?
It
you
was
remember?
Troopers, I thought.
It was Troopers. You're right. Yeah, because we took a whole thing about them doing
Because we
that.
thought it was going to be for the harmonica or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So I liked it. I did. I thought it was a kind of a for them light, like light, light. Like it was like they still had their Blue Devils moments. They still had their Blue Devils callback. There was some stuff that I was like, okay, I see, I hear that, I hear those songs. They do a really good job about bringing back songs that kind of made them famous, or they made famous, or something like that. And there was some of that in there, but it wasn't as in your face as it typically is.
Hmm.
I think for what they were trying to do, they needed the show to be a little bit more, have a little bit more air to it. Hence the color scheme that you get. And for me, I think they did a really good job of visually showing you different types of gathering throughout the show.
and they props had me tripping. I had it on high cam, and it made me feel like they had little TVs in them
mm,
because it kept moving behind it. It was
Yeah.
like, why does this look like it's flickering? But yeah, I like it,
so,
and it is everybody gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and we know, and it's like BD gonna BD. It's gonna be dirty for now.
And
then
they're going to wave the magic
I was about to
wand.
say, and then the fairies are gonna come out and start sprinkling the dust, and all of a sudden, it's gonna be clean out the wazoo. So yeah, everybody gonna have to definitely work on it. But I think it should get some more positivity this year because it's cool, man. It's a cool show.
Yeah.
I was in it that whole line, and they come down in the middle. I was like, this is cool.
Oh,
I
when
was
they
like,
start playing
okay, BD.
Kashmir, I was like,
Yeah,
this is cool. Because I didn't
come on,
expect them
BD.
to do it.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't expect them to play Kashmir.
Yeah. So
I mean, I knew it was on the rep, but it doesn't sound like something that they would do. But it was good.
It's like I said, it's one of those. We've talked about. We want them to step out and do something different. Well, here it is, and it's still, and to me, it's just as good as what they've always done.
mm-hmm.
It's just as good as it's always done. So, I mean, they're just like Bluecoats. They're gonna continuously tweak. I mean, everybody's tweaking. We talk about this all the time. Everybody's tweaking, but there's some groups that just know what buttons to push.
I was like successful tweaks. That's what I was about to say. Like some people can tweak it to the point where like you lose the whole concept of what they're trying to do. But BD and Bluecoats both are good at making tweaks that are always beneficial.
Mm-hmm. So, and they're not out of desperation.
Yep.
I think that's the difference. You're not changing it because, oh my God, we got to do this because everybody else is doing it. No, it's whatever it's going to do is going to be impactful and it's going to make sense of what the show is, and it'll just naturally occur instead of feel like it's being forced. So Blue Devils are strong. I like it. And then Boston with the boom.
Eat them up.
Eat them up, Boston.
Boston.
My favorite opening segment, I think, of the year so far.
Dude, you talking about run and gun from the
get
jump?
They didn't get the "you're supposed to start the show slow" memo.
No.
Like Boston, how you gonna start at 2:10, bro?
Yeah.
That's a look at me now intro right there, boy. I said, God, what?
It's like
You
we're coming.
just started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it matches what they're doing on tour this season. They're going to come out swinging.
They try and be
They're
like
going out west. First thing, they're going to come out and throw a punch.
they trying to be like Blue
it's
Coast. They got 37,000 speakers on the field. I said, how y'all gonna outline the whole field?
yeah.
All these speakers.
Gotta make you feel the boom.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what else comes out of it. That color guard's ridiculous. I mean, we know this, but when you got a contra player tossing
That was cool.
a 6
That
and
was
catching
funny.
it, stupid.
That was funny. I was like, y'all
It's
said
not really a
that.
contra player. He's just there's like, hey, we're gonna make it seem like you play tuba, but you really the guard.
Yeah, he's just ghosting the whole time.
Doesn't even have a mouthpiece plugged in. Doesn't even have a mouthpiece on it.
Nah, I only need to throw this 30 real quick with the tuba.
Like none of these valves work.
But can you do that?
It's all for show.
No pipes in
You
there at
got
all.
the display.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. I mean, like I said, the opening statement, I was sitting there and was like, yay. It's like happy, cool marching drill, fast tempos, interesting harmonic shifts. I like it.
Yep. I just see so many things and hear so many things, and I just call them cadets moments. Because
It is.
I thought about that. That's what the cadets would have done. I mean, basically, it's gonna sound like an insult to call this. So this would be the last time I'll say it. I hope, but like that's all those guys girls that were there are now there. But now the creative lid has been taken off because of the people that are in charge of the design there.
Yeah.
So now you take cadet talent and put it with that design team whose mind is free and as open as can be, and you get what you've got in the past 5 years. It's something. Boston is something special. They really are. And all it's going to take is either for somebody to slip up finals night or them do the right show the right year.
Yep.
And it's gonna be something nasty. They're going after it this year. This reminds me how they're going after it reminds me a lot of old school Vanguard, where it's like this show's freaking hard. Can they get it clean?
Mm-hmm.
Can they get it clean? You
That's
know,
that's always my wonder when I do see intense stuff like that. It's like,
I mean, split second.
look here, Boston. Look here.
A split second can change everything. But no, it was. I mean, super cool. I one of my favorite moments of the night was uh, the uh, the Cuban chart that they did. They call it a Latin chart, but I think it
Oh,
was
well, yeah. The
because
battery's
it
going
made
crazy. Yeah.
it, and the whole band's playing something too. The battery's
Yeah,
got some
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
but it made so much sense from a this show concept standpoint. And I don't know if a lot of people understood why they did that. If
Like
you
the Cuban Missile Crisis kind of thing. Is that
Yes.
what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like when they played
Because
all
there
the
was
Cuban stuff. Because if you listen to music back in the 50s and the 60s, or TV stuff back in the 50s, because this is a retrospective. Like this
Mm-hmm.
whole show is retro.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to music from back then when they did breaks, our Cuban music was hot then.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a big thing. So um I mean Lucy was married to a Cuban guy.
Ricky Ricardo.
Ricky Ricardo. So like that to me, I was just like, that makes so much sense.
There was a section, and at first I was like, this doesn't make sense. But then when I listened to it, it kind of sounded like Looney Tunes. Like there was like a kind of whimsy kind of section with it, and I was like, at first it kind of stuck out, and I was like, how does this work? And then I thought about it, I was like, well, cartoons and
Yeah.
Technicolor and
I think all of that was looped together because I was just
yeah,
like, I was like, where is this going? I was like, and then, like I said, that Cuban rhythm section came in. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, this makes so much sense, so much sense. Um, I even texted a friend of mine right, and I was like, that was the smartest musical choice of the night because it brought everything together. Because I immediately went back to now I wasn't alive in the 50s, but I immediately went back. I mean, I had Nick at Night, so
yeah.
Right.
so I immediately went back to that, and I was just like, this makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. So it's some brain, and they do. Boston is really good at taking concepts and making it accessible to anybody. You know, you just got to know a little bit about pop culture, and it makes sense. They do a really, really good job about that. And so now they're amping up that, or they're keeping that, but they're amping up the plane and the Martian too. It's it's great drum corps. I like it a lot.
Yeah, if Blue Coats hadn't have came out with what they came out with, I would say Boston's front runners 100%. Um, I think whenever Boston and Blue Coats finally meet up, that's gonna be something because you got two totally different
Hmm.
vibes going on. And I mean, I'm not gonna count out Blue Devils because you can't ever historically count them out. But like, it feels like it's a two-horse race right now. But like, I mean, I still stand by that. I think Blue Coats could go undefeated again.
Here's my thing with it. The only thing I would say to that is, for me, both of these shows have its own respective level with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, them two groups, if it comes down to them two groups, it's going to be who is the cleanest.
Yep.
And I'm not, I don't want to say Blue Coast is going to run with it. They're going to see some groups and they're probably just going to win on our shows. But like when all of these cats, the ones we talk about all the time, your top six now, what, 8? We done extended it to. When they really, really start seeing each other, I think them days are going to come down. Who is going to be the cleanest? And I almost expect numbers to be kind of how it is like now with BD and Boston, like a point. Like it's going to be tight. and it's going to be that one who can survive all 3 nights.
And to kind of go along with what you're saying, if you looked at the GE numbers from that show,
they're all over the place.
Boston left a lot of lettuce on the table
Yes.
because it wasn't clean.
See,
so they were getting credit. They made that gap is basically like, all right, this show was really freaking hard. You don't have to clean it up though, because Boston, because Blue Devils is going to get clean. So those numbers are going to match up real quick. And if they can figure out a way to bump up content a little bit, which is weird to say about Blue Devils, but we're talking strictly numbers here. We're not talking about like don't somebody be like he said the show was easy. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, and I didn't put the number on the paper. The judges did. But if Boston's gonna have to clean up because Blue Coats is not gonna leave much to the imagination. Like as far as like much room for error, they're not. Like they know what they can do. They're gonna do what they can do, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna maximize it. The problem is they can do just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's gonna be a GE judge that doesn't get it for Blue Coats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be that's what it's going to be because they're a top 3 in every category. So it's going to be a GE judge that doesn't get it. That's going to hurt Blue Coats, I think, in the end game. The core they need to watch out for, Vanguard.
Mm.
I have them 3rd right now, and it's not too far behind. I mean, I'm honestly, if I really want to be honest, I think those top 3 are here.
That's why I said.
I'm with you on that. I just off first reads.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
have
have
first
I wouldn't
impression.
have
No, I get you.
First impression. I've got Vanguard ahead of BD.
Yeah, that's what
I got BD in 4th.
I have them 3rd, and I like BD show. I do.
Come on, bold prediction.
Come on. But golly, Vanguard just came out.
On it, man.
Will, when you watch this,
I'm ready. The only thing I seen was a snippet of the perk, and I was going to talk to you about that if you ready to hit some of that up. But other than that, I seen that snippet of that, and I was like, I'm ready to see this because I didn't know they did that premiere. But when I had seen the little snippet of the perk, it immediately I was like, I need to see this show.
Well, they do the whole show. Like I think there's a video of them doing the whole show.
We made a joke. We were saying, someone's about to rip this off of. No, I mean it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but those top 4 is gonna be nasty. I think Crown and Phantom are gonna be in for a super duper battle. Between those 2. Don't know what Mandarins look like. That's gonna be a wild card. But you know, if my brain Phantom is 6,
jeez,
then that means Vanguard's got to. I mean, Mandarin's got to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened last year. They kind of put themselves on an island last year. They they put everyone behind them away.
Get caught up to everybody else.
Caught up to everyone else. Yeah.
But see, I think they got a good plate they're sitting on because that perk is all right, y'all.
Oh yeah,
it's new folks up in that joint, and them notes is nice. And if the core is hot fire too, somebody going home crying.
Bunch of dialogues out there.
Because you gotta remember, right? Every station got to do its part, right?
Yeah.
And that battery's finna be in that is gonna do their part. So I hope they can get the rest of the puzzle pieces together because I'm ready to see something get shook up for real.
Yeah, it's a lot of excellence happening right now.
Yep,
it's a lot of excellence happening right now. So yeah, Zach, you got a one to watch for this week?
I do.
What it is?
One to watch for this week is going to be on July 3rd. It is the Show of Shows in Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
It's going to start with Eclipse out of Indianapolis. then Columbus Saints,
With
then
a C or with a K?
with a
It's a
C.
C. It's a C.
Okay.
With a C.
I said the same thing as soon as I seen it one day. I said, "Excuse me."
I was like, somebody,
Then Columbus Saints, and then you get into the world class groups, Crossmen, then Troopers, then Cavaliers, then our dear friends Intermission, then Madison Scouts, Blue Stars, and Phantom. So we're gonna see.
That one's not streaming though.
Is it not?
No.
I
Oh
don't
well.
know. So.
Well, it may not be a one to
Well,
watch.
it's still
but
gonna be
it's
the one to
still
watch. You get your
It's
ticket.
still good.
and
No,
go.
it's still a good one. I'm not
definitely-
hating on it. I'm just saying like that.
It's definitely one
Never
to keep
mind.
your eye
I
on.
guess
It might be
my
the
one
Cali
is
show.
not good enough. That's the only one this week that piques a lot of interest. There's the one that you can stream is the
Portland show.
Northwest Youth Music Games in Portland, which will have Gems, Impulse, Columbians, Intermission, Blue Knights, Vanguard, Mandarins, and then Cascades.
So you got
So
the
you can get the premiere of the Mandarins, I believe, or at least the flow marching premiere of the Mandarins, and Vanguard
Colombians,
and
Vanguard.
Columbians.
Cascade, all of them. It's
Yeah.
premiere day.
I
Except
say
for
you
Blue
also
Knights.
got
Blue Knights are the only ones that's been on.
Whitewater Classic is this coming Saturday, July 5th. That's a good one. They're actually streaming that one this year.
Zach gonna be like, why don't you pick it next time?
Yeah.
No, I'm
somebody
just-
else
I'm
can
just-
do it.
no, I'm just giving
pick
out-
it apart. Pick it
No,
apart.
No.
It's fine.
I'm giving out other things that are going on. It would be that way. Fine. Whatever. But yeah, Whitewater Classic, which is another good one, and DCI West is next Sunday. Should be another good one.
Just all the shows then. Just watch them all.
They're
We
all
should.
the one to watch.
I get one segment. Can't even do that.
One segment a
I
year.
mean, we can give you more. You want?
No, that's okay. Someone else can have it
I
next.
tried to let you start the show.
That's fine.
Hey, I didn't do it. I'm proud of you. You did good. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like, comment, share,
Y'all,
subscribe.
my blood pressure's going on. The amount of salt I'm getting through Zach's eyes through the screen over here.
Dut out.
And
Oh,
look,
wow.
look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
Wow, Chris, see what you did.
Hey, you can get over it.
So anyway, so check out those shows. We'll be on doing the things and all the stuff. So for Chris, Zach, and Ted, and Will, I'm Sid. Will said.
Yes.
I'm Sid.
Exactly.
Oh, he comes back when I make a mistake. I said. For all of them and me, this has been another episode of On the Backhash. Don't forget, we hit 500 subs by the end of finals. There will be a merch giveaway, so make sure you're sharing it and hitting all the things, and we can do the stuff with all the people. Because Trump goes here, and we love it, and we like you guys too.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I guess. All right, you guys take care. We'll go watch the show. Get your Flow March subscription and all the good stuff. And stay cool and be safe on this 4th of July holiday.
Yes, please.
Keep all your
Start
fingers.
and end it with 10 fingers and
Go
toes.
see a parade if they're doing any parades. That's another thing too.
And don't forget, put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
in reverse.
Back it up, Terry.
Yeah. So, all right. We'll see you guys next time. We are Dut.
Out. Oh, Lord, Terry.